I'm not sure if you guys can see this or not, but there's a PlayStation 4 sitting on my workbench. And it's here because it's having problems connecting to controllers. Now, as you can see right now, we currently have it plugged in via USB, but my customer states that it won't work with his controller wirelessly as well. So we're gonna go ahead and try to press the PlayStation button and see if it starts to work. And unfortunately, it does not. So let's go ahead and power this thing down. And let's see what happens if we enter safe mode. And there's that second beep. So here we are in safe mode, and we'll hit the PS button, and now the controller is working. So now we know that the USB port does work, but it's still not connecting wirelessly. My customer also stated that he was having some Wi-Fi issues with the console as well. So this leads me to think that we have an issue with the Wi-Fi Bluetooth chip. Wi-Fi and Bluetooth are both handled by the same chip on the motherboard, so we're going to replace that and hope that it works. Alright, so there is the chip in question, and that's the one we're going to remove. So to remove this chip, I put the motherboard in this vise. Ideally, I should have one over here on this side as well, just to keep it more stable, but I don't have one, so Ask and you shall receive. You guys wanted a play-by-play of what I'm doing, so here it is. Now before you ask, the clear stuff is called flux. Flux helps solder flow and helps me remove chips a lot easier than it would be without it. And as you just witnessed, I heated the chip up from the bottom and removed it that way. And now I am adding solder to each one of those circular pads, making sure there's nice fluffy balls of solder on each pad, making sure that the new chip has good contact onto the motherboard. We use the bottom heating method again to install the chip, and here it drops into place. We touch it on both sides to make sure that the chip is secure and properly soldered, and we clean up our mess, making sure there's no leftover flux on the motherboard. Okay, so we've replaced the Wi-Fi Bluetooth IC chip on this PlayStation 4. Let's see if it's working. And there we go. As we can see, the controller is now working wirelessly and wired. We can go into settings, set up internet connection, and we're waiting, checking the network environment, and we're connected. Now that we know that the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth are both operating properly on this PlayStation 4, it's time to put it back together, and the world can rest easy knowing that there's one more PlayStation 4 back in the wild.